Thank you very much to Shazia and her panel for what was a fantastic discussion. We now come to our final keynote of the day and our final part of the agenda. I think given the conversation that we've had, I can't think of a better person to wrap up our discussions today. So it's a great pleasure to have with us His Excellency Warren A. Stevens, the American Ambassador to the United Kingdom. He presented his credentials to the King in May 2025. And he is very much one of our own, coming as he does from a distinguished and highly successful career in our industry as well as in philanthropy and in public service. Can you please welcome him to the stage?
Thank you, Miles. That was a lovely introduction. A lot of ways I'd rather be sitting where you are than where I'm standing now. It feels a lot more natural to be there. But I appreciate you and the City UK for inviting me to speak today. And you all should be proud of yourselves for making this such a vibrant sector and valuable trading partner for the United States. As Miles mentioned, long before moving to the UK in my official role as President Trump's ambassador, my wife Harriet and I visited the UK frequently to see friends for work meetings and an occasional golf trip. Those visits gave me the opportunity to understand the country well on a personal level, but the aspect of the UK that I got to know to its core was this room right here. It's the financial sector. Because before President Trump appointed me to this post, I spent 39 years as CEO of a family-owned financial services firm in Little Rock, Arkansas, that now our children continue to run. The firm operated much like an old-line UK merchant bank. We did all the investment banking things you would think, but we invested our own capital directly into mainly private companies. And the firm had a foothold in London, and meaning I saw firsthand the service, value, and expertise that UK firms offer. Today, as ambassador to the Court of St. James, I have the unique perspective that I have never seen before, witnessing the financial sector from the seat of government. And what I see is a partnership that contributes over $350 billion of trade in goods and services annually. $1.8 trillion in bilateral investment stock and 2.6 million jobs in our countries combined. For financial services, that includes nearly $50 billion in bilateral services last year, and the United States being the largest investor in the UK and the top destination for UK foreign investment. So your continued partnership with the US firms and customers is very much appreciated. The primary influence my experience as CEO cemented in me was a firm belief in the power of free markets, specifically in the proven ability of capitalism to convert human ingenuity into happy and successful societies. I saw that impact growing up in Arkansas, where America's free market economy enabled my uncle and father to build a company from scratch into one of the largest private investment banking firms in the country, and in doing so completely changed the trajectory of our family. I learned about the power of the market in my economic studies and later as an avid reader of history, weighing up different theories and seeing that only one really stood the test of time. In fact, Arkansas, a state of only 3 million people, has been home to some of the great American success stories. Walmart Stores is in Bentonville, Arkansas. Our firm took them public when they had $32 million in sales. Tyson Foods, J.B. Hunt, and there are many others whose remarkable success transformed one part of the state from the poorest into the most affluent area within a generation. And later, having learned about the benefits of capitalism, I lived it early in my career, seeing how economic freedom under the leadership of President Reagan and Prime Minister Thatcher helped pull the free world out of a period of serious malaise and into an era of prosperity. That economic success enabled the West to triumph over the Soviet Union's static-centric model of government, an example that has stayed with me ever since. So I make no apology for being a staunch advocate of capitalism. It is the system that best sustains individual freedoms, that works most effectively in practice, and it has helped make our two great nations what they are today. It's why, as ambassador, I have made it a priority to visit sites in the City of London, from Guildhall to Lloyd's, and to speak to businesses around the country, because it is obvious to me that UK companies believe the same thing. Businesses here want to innovate, grow, trade, and invest in the right way. In doing so, you create jobs, put money back into communities, and develop great products and services. It's why both President Trump and I are firm in one mind that the private sector should lead and advise government on how to help. And why, since returning to office, President Trump has focused on removing barriers to growth, rebuilding manufacturing, and restoring American energy leadership. Because we know what business can achieve when they're given an agile, affordable economy in which to operate. And with two dynamic, growing free market economies on either side of the Atlantic, trading with each other and making that exchange as smooth as possible, there's no limit to what our countries can achieve. It was encouraging to see our countries take bold steps in strengthening our economic relationship. In May, the UK became the first country to sign a trade agreement with the new Trump administration. The economic prosperity deal is a good deal for both sides, and we are confident our countries will reap the benefits if we can see the sustained delivery needed to give businesses the confidence to invest. And we are starting to see that progress. The UK is now benefiting from preferential arrangements on steel, LNG, and agricultural products. And that includes a reciprocal tariff-free quota on 13,000 tons of beef between the US and the UK, with both countries now shipping product duty-free. And in pharmaceuticals, we were pleased to see the US-UK pharma deal finalized earlier this month to secure preferential trade for our pharma companies, while ensuring the UK benefits from innovative US medicines at a fair price for both parties. Our countries built on the EPD when, during President Trump's historic second state visit last September, leading US and UK companies announced agreements worth over $350 billion. Finance played a key part, with US financial firms pledging $1.7 billion to drive investment and growth across both our countries. And in between, we have seen landmark agreements on critical minerals, civil, nuclear, and more. So we are moving together on cooperation between our key economic sectors, and that exchange is vital to maintaining the dynamism and openness of our free market economies. It is vital that we protect those free markets, whether in energy, where the solution to high prices is not to artificially distort or restrict the market, but to expand supply and bring prices down by ensuring all forms of energy are on the table. And yes, this includes oil and gas. The focus should be energy addition, not energy subtraction or even transition. Or in tech, where we need laws that protect the innovation of our leading companies, not inhibit them, if our countries are to continue leading the world technological innovation. Or in finance, where our governments and businesses are taking proactive steps to align our systems more closely, whether through the Transatlantic Task Force for Markets of the Future, ensuring capital can move freely and easily between our countries, or through collaboration on emerging areas like digital assets and financial innovation. The task force is a particular pet project of mine. I saw from my time in financial services how well US and UK capital markets work together, and it would be a missed opportunity not to secure much smoother transaction and fundraising between our two countries. Doing so will help us maintain our shared leading edge in global financial and capital markets, which is a top priority for this administration and which stands to benefit both UK and US communities. It also is the competitive advantage as both our countries operate globally and access to capital fuels their growth. By advancing these efforts, removing barriers, and empowering private companies in all sectors, we can ensure the US-UK trade relationship remains the most dynamic in the world today, while protecting the free market model that has made our country so successful. Because in a complex world, strong partnerships are more important than ever. As President Trump has outlined in our national security strategy, the United States wants our allies to be prosperous and capable, and we have no better or closer ally than the United Kingdom. So we must stay invested in each other's success, whether removing tariff and non-tariff barriers to trade or making our supply chain stronger and more resilient by prioritizing partners who share our view of the world. Here we welcome the UK's recent decisions on proposed investments to work with US companies and other allies, while reducing reliance on Chinese companies and technologies that leave the UK's infrastructure, intellectual property, and competitiveness vulnerable. Because in the world today, not everyone shares the transatlantic view of how business should be conducted with fair regulations. Not everyone shares our belief in free markets, in private innovation over state intervention, or in the principle that a company owns the ideas and technologies it develops and creates. So we must continue working with each other and deepening our collaboration. I know you all will be at the forefront of advocating and embodying that dynamic relationship, growing your companies responsibly, ambitiously, and in a way that ensures you're there to support your customers for decades to come. That was the driving mantra of my family's firm in Arkansas, and I believe it is well modeled by UK companies, many of whom literally outdate the United States. So I'm confident that with the right leadership and policies, we can continue to make this a profitable, open, and innovative partnership that puts our private businesses at the heart of our plans for growth. We at the U.S. Embassy are eager to know how we can support those efforts as you seek to grow in and alongside U.S. markets. So please do let us know how we can help. I truly appreciate your partnership and for demonstrating how successful and dynamic free market economies can and should operate. And thank you again for having me here today. I appreciate it.